Hi, it's Deborah from Create with Compassion, and I am a Fun Stampers Journey independent coach. I'd like to share with you the card design here and how to use a beautiful neutral color with any color you would like. So I'm also going to share with you near the end of the video how you can win this beautiful love letter embossing folder, as well as one of the beautiful cards that I have created using this card design. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. So let's create with compassion. Here's a close-up of the card design I'm sharing with you today. I'm using Riverstone as my base color, so I can add a pop of any color I choose. This uses Lemon Drop. I also have my envelope coordinated, and I love the extra specialness on the back flap that's sure to make the recipient smile. Before we begin creating today, I would like to share with you the August 2017 Fusion Vibes promotion for the Fun Stampers Journey True Color Fusion ink. If you're not familiar with that, it is a blend, a fusion of dye and pigment ink. I love how it has the little color name on the side of it. It's a raised firm felt pad, and they are unique. If you're not quite familiar with it, RG has a video that I've shared on my Facebook page, Create with Compassion, where you can learn more about it. They are 20% off this month for individual ink pads, which is a better deal than purchasing them in a bundle. Regularly $7.95, on sale for $6.36. You can take a look at all of the 51 colors that are on sale on page 302, 303 of the annual catalog. The embossing folder that I'm using in today's video is a Bloom Benefit. If you're not familiar with that, you can check out page 12 and 13 in the annual catalog for more information, or contact me. I'm going to be using this lovely love letter embossing folder. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to do all of my die cutting and embossing first, get all of that out of the way. I'm using the Fun Stampers Journey Platinum machine, and the platform gives me all the information I need about the different sandwiches. You just follow the sandwich recipes for the machine that you are using. I'm using the Artful Butterfly die set, which has 6 dies, and I'm using the 2 smallest one, an intricate butterfly, and then the solid shape that coordinates with that size. And so what I have is Limeade Splash. This is 2.5 by 2.5. If you are frugal and you want to kind of conserve your cardstock, you can cut this solid piece out of the middle of your colored layer here, because that will not be visible. So you're going to cut out one of the solid butterflies with that piece. And then for my intricate butterfly here, what I did was I took a 2.5 by 2.5 piece of white liner sheet. There's 4 of them, and they are 8.5 by 11, so I trim it down to the size I need. And you just peel off the backing. See if I can do that quick for you. Maybe not. It's coming. You just peel off the backing. This exposes a sheet of stickiness. You then adhere that to your cardstock, and then I like to put the intricate die onto the cardstock and run that through with the side going through the machine. If you look at the blades here, I believe that the roller in all of the machines do better when it works with the blade, not having to go across the blade, but kind of go with the blade. So I find that it cuts better that way. And when you do take it out, you can use this. This is very solid and smooth. You can use it for a mask or a stencil. So if you run that through, you get your solid butterfly and your intricate butterfly. And then I want the gray body, so I have just a 1/2 inch strip of scrap Riverstone that you just lay that in place and run that through. And I also wanted some vellum cardstock intricate butterfly. So what I did with that was I ran that through my Journey Platinum, and then I have 4 pieces of the dryer sheets. I set that down with my die still in place. I put that down and ran that through, and that just helped everything come out easier. It kind of sticks some of the pieces to it, and so you're able to get the die cleaned out easily, and the vellum comes out very easy. Vellum is much more fragile than cardstock, so you want to be careful when you take that out. So that is all of my die cutting. With the little Riverstone piece, you'll see that you got some extra wings there, and I just take my scissors to trim that off like so. Now let's go ahead and just build our butterfly with the solid limeade piece. You're just going to put a little bit of craft glue. I like liquid glue for this. You're just going to put a little dab and then kind of smear it along where his body would be, and then you take your Riverstone body and you take your vellum butterfly and adhere that in place, and then you put another little dab of glue and smear that on the body, and you put the Riverstone body on top of that. The glue gives it just a few moments for you to kind of move it around so that you get in the location you need. So there's a close-up of that. It's so beautiful. And then for our intricate butterfly, you do the same thing with that second Riverstone body there with some glue. So we can set those aside for use later. The next thing I'm going to do with my Journey Platinum machine is to work with my embossing folder. I've got the Fun Stampers Journey logo facing up, and I'm going to open that. With my Riverstone True Color Fusion ink, I'm just going to add some color to the side that is to the right. This has the least amount of raised surface, and it has a good firm pad. It's nice and juicy, so you just softly, gently move it around. You can even tap if you'd rather. You want to not press hard so that you don't get ink where the embossing folder is not raised. Then you just grab a 4x5 and 1/4 piece of whipped cream cardstock, lay that down on the uninked side, close your embossing folder carefully, and then when I run it through at an angle with the open side going in first. It seems to go in a little bit smoother, doesn't have as much resistance there at the front. If you go through like this, then it like hits a wall that it then has to work to get over. When you've run that through, this is what it's going to look like. The Riverstone part is debossed, so that's sunken down. All I do is use a wet wipe to clean the embossing folder. Just wipe that. And then I use a rag to dry it. You may notice some staining of your embossing folder, but it will not interfere with your beautiful creations in the future. Here is a piece of whipped cream cardstock that I embossed, and my embossing folder was stained, but it left no ink on this beautiful white piece of paper. Isn't that just a beautiful embossing folder? If you were to ink up the side of the folder that has the Fun Stampers Journey logo, this is what it would look like. It's got much more Riverstone color to that. So once we have this inked up and looking beautiful, I just got a piece of Fusion ink sponge and my Riverstone ink pad, tap, and then just swipe the edges to sponge all around that. As you can see here, the difference, it gives it a different look. Hopefully you can see that. And so I did that, and then I adhered this panel to a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 piece of Limeade Splash cardstock, centered. Then we're going to use some Riverstone satin ribbon on, and I just cut it a little bit longer than the size of my card, so about 6.5 inches. I put some white liner tape on the non-shiny side so that my ribbon will be adhered all along. Just going to peel that off, and on the left side I'm going to line this up for less than 1/2 inch, but more than 1/4 of an inch there on the left. Press that, bring it around to the back there, and then I have a Riverstone card base, 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half along the 8.5 side, so it is 5.5 by 4.4. I'm just going to, this already has adhesive on it, I'm going to center this onto my card base as best I can and press that down, making sure of course that it opens the right way. So there we have that. Now I can bring in my butterfly that we created earlier, and I'm just going to take some of that craft glue and apply that to the back of the butterfly and adhere that to the bottom, kind of the bottom left. I want part of my butterfly to be on my ribbon, and just hold that down there. Once it's on and dry, you can add, doesn't take long to adhere well, you can just curl up your vellum wings a little bit and give it some added dimension and beauty. So let's work on the inside of our card. I'm going to be using the Beautiful Wings stamp set. I've got this beautiful sentiment on a block, and I want to do 2 different colors, so I'm going to bring in some washi tape. This is Sweet Romance, and it is a balloon benefit that you can get for free with over $100 purchase. And I'm going to tape off the words I don't want inked up at this time. So I want to ink up my word beautiful first. Here the 2 F's are very close together, so I'm just going to make sure I get all of that inked up, taped. Okay, I think that's good. And then using my Limeade True Color Fusion ink, I'm just going to ink up beautiful, and don't have to worry about the other words getting inked. Then I'm just going to remove that washi tape and stamp this down in the bottom right hand corner. The stamp is well indexed, so it's easy to get a straight stamp. And then I'm going to use the True Color Fusion cleaner, spritz a little bit on this rag, clean that off. The True Color Fusion cleaner helps to clean your stamps as well as condition it. I was using baby wipes, but I thought I would try this and see how it works, because I'm not sure, but I think my baby wipes was making it more challenging for my ink to adhere to the stamp. So we'll see if that's the case or not. Now I'm gonna hide the beautiful word here, and this goes up a little bit more in some places. So I'm just gonna add a little more adhesive here. I think that'll do it. With the Riverstone True Color Fusion ink, I'm gonna ink up Be Your Own Kind Of, and remove the tape on that. I'm gonna line up the beautiful with the previously stamped beautiful. Stamp that down, and there we have our sentiment with 2 colors. Then the intricate butterfly that we had cut out and created. That has the white liner sheet on the back of it. We're just going to peel that white liner sheet off. If there's anything that we need to poke out, the bloom tool with the piercing tip works very well. Also has the little brush that you can use. So I'm just going to adhere this to the bottom left of my cardstock, and it is a sticker. It is all got adhesive on the back of that. And then with just my scissors, we can trim off the pieces that stick out from the cardstock. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my Riverstone ink and that same sponge and sponge the edges of the cardstock. That way it kind of coordinates with the front, and then we can adhere that. This has adhesive on it already. Adhere that to the inside of our card. So our card is created. Now let's go ahead and decorate the envelope here. And for that I'm going to use a scratch piece of paper. I'm going to begin with the sentiment on this back flap. I'm going to open my envelope so that the flap is facing down, because I want them to be able to read the sentiment when they go to open it. So I'm just going to ink that up with the Riverstone ink, and I'm just inking up the entire sentiment like that, and I'm going to stamp this in the middle as best as I can there. And then with the Limeade Splash and the solid butterfly image, we will ink that up. I'm going to stamp that on this sheet of paper to get rid of most of the color, and then come in here to the side of my sentiment. I just want a hint of color there, so we'll do that again. And we'll stamp that off over here, and then stamp it on the other side of our sentiment. And then I just want to do that again to the bottom left of the envelope, kind of at an angle there. And then we'll bring in the splotchy butterfly from the Beautiful Wings set. Ink that up with the Limeade. And this we're going to stamp full strength. So we'll just line that up with our solid butterfly image. And do that to all 3 places. Then I have the lined butterfly image, and I will ink that up with Riverstone, and we'll line that up with our butterfly and stamp that on all 3. And there we have our beautiful envelope and flap to coordinate with our beautiful card. And now this card can be used for a variety of events, and I love how when you change the color, you give the card a little bit of a different feel. I've made a few different colors here I'll share with you. This was Limeade Splash, Lemon Drop. Here we have Grape Fusion. And on this card I accidentally stamped the lined image with the Grape Fusion, and that is beautiful. Love that. Watermelon Fusion here. Love how just the different looks give it a different colors give it a different look. and this is Beach Breeze. I'd like to take a moment to share with you how you can win this love letter embossing folder as well as one of these handmade cards. Just pop over to my Facebook page, Create with Compassion. I'll have the post pinned to the top. The more you do, the more chances you have to win. All you need to do is like my page if you haven't already. React to the post, comment on the post, and share the post. You'll get a chance to win for each of those activities. And then on August 15, Tuesday morning, I will announce the winner, and the winner will have 48 hours to contact me with their address and let me know which color they would like to receive in the mail. I appreciate you joining me today as we create with compassion, and I hope you have a wonderful day.